Okay, thank you, sir. Welcome, everyone. I'd like to call to order this regular board meeting of the Summers County Board of Education. September 11th, 2025, 6:30 PM. Give me just a second here. Let the minutes reflect that 4 board members are present and Mr. McBride is dialed in and joining us by phone. I'd like to ask Mrs. Harvey if she would to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Before she does, I would like, after the Pledge of Allegiance, for us to have a moment of silence in memory of what happened here in our country, September 11th, 2001. There were a lot of lives lost and a lot of sacrifices that have been made since then. We just want to remember those individuals. Also ask that during this time we remember those that have been involved in this country in senseless acts of violence over the past few weeks, and just remember their families and their loved ones during this time. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Yeah, that's your pen. Thank you. All right, item 3, we have approval of agenda with adjustments.
On personnel, I'm not sure how we'll handle this. I have 3 Farleys on personnel,
Okay.
so I can either recuse myself from personnel in general or just the Farleys because they're sort of spread out.
However you'd like to handle that.
What would be best?
Yeah, we can do all 3 of them together and just do the Farleys
Okay.
separate.
Because it would be, trying to find it here. Sorry.
All right.
Do you want to help me?
You should put it in a motion to pull the Farleys out.
That's fine. That's
go
fine.
ahead.
Okay. I make a motion that, under personnel, that we pull, James Farley, Joe Farley, and Sam Farley out and vote on those separately.
We have a motion on the floor by Mrs. Farley to pull James Farley, Joe Farley, and Sam Farley under personnel out and handle those separately. Seconded by Mrs. Harvey. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, we will pull James, Joe, and Sam Farley out and handle those separately under personnel.
Motion that we Safe and Sound and RT Rogers from the bills to be voted on separately.
We have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mrs. Harvey to pull Safe and Sound and RT Rogers out and handle those separately. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, we will pull Safe and Sound and RT Rogers out and handle those separately. The other adjustments, let's see here. Okay. Hearing no other motions, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion that we approve the agenda with the aforementioned adjustments.
I second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mrs. Farley to approve the agenda with aforementioned changes. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the agenda has been approved. Item 4, student disciplinary hearing. I'll make a motion under West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, student discipline, paragraph 2, student discipline, that we go into executive session. Motion by myself, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, that according to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, student discipline, that we go into executive session. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by 5-0 vote, we will go into executive session. The time is 6:06 PM. Executive session ended at 6:13 PM. So we will call back to order this regular meeting of the Summers County Board of Education. Under the Safe Schools Act, we voted in executive session on the student disciplinary matter. And that was based on training we were provided at the West Virginia School Board Association meeting by Bowles Rice. So we will move on to item 5, student achievement. What do we have for that one? Do we have anything? Okay. Still early in the year. Everybody's getting settled in. All right. Item 6, presentations. Mr. Stan Unrow, Community and Schools.
Is here.
Anywhere you'd like.
I've been practicing softball and my new
Okay.
knee's not holding up real good.
Come up this way just a little bit so we can pick you up on the. Yep.
He was trying to get me on camera. But I don't want them to see around. Trying to get rid of the evidence. All right. Most of you know, my name's Stan Unrow. I do community and schools here in grades 6, 7, and 8. What used to be middle school, now they don't call us middle school and community and schools anymore. Summers County Comprehensive High School is just one school now, so I just do the 6, 7, and 8 portion of it. Our goal this year, our main goal is attendance. Our school goal is set at 90% this year, attendance rate. That is that's going to be a tall order, but we're doing a lot of work. I know in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, I'm working really close with Miss Berkshire, who would be the middle school principal, or 6th, 7th, and 8th grade vice principal. And she does a list. She works in attendance. She'll send me a list of kids with multiple absences. So I've been on the phones calling families. I think I've made a little over 50 calls. It was 50 calls the other day when I asked to put this together. It's a few more than that already. We've already did 2 home visits and a business visit. We ended up finding the one guy down at his workplace, and of course he signed his kid out. He's putting him in Penn Foster, but we had to have the paper signed before we could take him off our rolls and stuff. So that has been my main goal so far this year. It is basically working with attendance. We also 100 or 90% would be 162 days of attendance out of 180. That is what we're shooting for. I would love it to be higher than that, because the more school you miss, the less, the worse your grades are. Let's face it. Most of the kids that do not pass are the kids that don't come to school, and so we got to get them in school. We got to get them back in school. I have 22 students enrolled on my caseload right now. I need 23 to be at the percentage they want us at, but I'll probably bump it up to about 25 or 26. We'll wait until about the midterm next week to kind of see what kids we need to add, because I'm just going to take some of the kids with just poor attendance and not worry about anything else, just add them so I can start calling, checking with their parents, finding out why they're not coming to school and things of that nature. So that will go up to about 25 in a week or so. Let's see. We want to thank a couple of our partners that we work with, Backpacks of America, who they're working through United Methodist Temple up in Beckley this year. And they provided us with 30 backpacks full of school supplies, of which I've already given 11 out. So we're fortunate. We got a lot of people that support us here and help take care of us. United Way just donated. I picked up 50 pair of shoes the other day and brought them in. We have them out in the building. We have to go through them. Started doing yummy bags last Friday. We got 25 of them that we give out to kids who may not have food to eat at home over the weekends. So we help take care of them. We got a tailgate coming up on the 26th, which I won't be at. I have a football game that night. I'm still doing radio, but our other community and schools people will be there handing out school supplies and things like that to any kids that still may need anything. I'll go over just a few of the little things I've done so far in school this year, which I think is my main job. The other stuff is really good, but my main job is taking care of the kids and seeing that they have what they need. As I mentioned, I gave out 11 backpacks with school supplies. 17 different kids have come to me for hygiene products, and that takes me back, myself and Riley Mann. We spoke with every 6th, 7th, and 8th grader the first week of school. Our main thing, talked to them, was about attendance. You got to be here to achieve. You have to actually be here. We also talked to them a lot about hygiene as their bodies are changing in middle school. You know, you're going to have to shower more often, soap, deodorant, shampoo, things like that. You know, I keep going over it with them every day. If you need it, come see me. I've got it. And I've given out 17 different kids have come to me for hygiene since that talk. The last couple of weeks, I've given out clothes to 11 kids already. And then we ordered clothes for another kid whose dad was out of work and was unable to provide school clothing. So got him some clothes. Already given out 4 pair of shoes. I mentioned the home visits. Had a young man, one of the teachers, Tatiana Vandal, brought a young man to me last week. Great kid. He was having a little bit of a meltdown, as 6th graders do from time to time. We hung out, drank a bottle of water. Miss Knott's here, so I'm not going to tell you he got an oatmeal cream pie because that is against the rules. And Dr. Green has informed me many times, they don't get oatmeal cream pies anymore. So that's out. But we walked around the building a little bit, talked, hung out, just calmed him down a little bit. He seemed great after that. I mean, we got great kids here. We just need to nurture them a little bit and get them over that hump. And I really think, you know, because I know attendance is our #1 goal, and that's what we need to work for. But I still think the personal touch that we give the individual kids is the most important thing community and schools does. And yeah, you guys got any questions for me?
Is there anything you need right now?
Right now, there is absolutely nothing that we need. Now, there's going to be, as the year goes on, we're going to need more school supplies. We're going to need more hygiene products, stuff like that. It looks like we got a ton of it stacked in that closet, but then in 1 week, you'll go in there and like almost everything's gone. So, I mean, it goes fast. Right now, we got everything that we can store. Our building out back is full. Our closet is full. We're not doing so much food-wise this year. Again, we're trying to get away from that, but you know, just keep us in mind with everything as far as stuff like that, clothing. Anytime you're throwing stuff out, you got kids that outgrow stuff, feel free to bring it in. We'll go through it. You know, our kids can be picky sometimes, but I mean, again, they want the same things everybody else has, and I understand that. I'm sure if you talk to Miss Hudson, she'll tell you, I don't know how much. I'm retired from the federal prison, so I do this because I like to do this. And so we donate a lot of our own resources to make sure these kids get what they want and what they need. So if they need something and we don't have it, we'll usually just take care of it. But I'm fortunate to work with Miss Hudson, who knows everybody in Summers County. And,
That she does.
so, it kind of makes my job easier because, she knows everybody at Reach, at ARH, at, all these places, RT Rogers. Lots of places donate us stuff and they don't want anybody to know they even give us stuff. But Susie goes out and takes care of all that. So for me, a lot of times, I just get to be the fun guy giving it out to them, whatever you need. Right now, we're pretty good with everything, but come wintertime, we'll need some more stuff for sure.
If you ever have a specific need, just give us a holler. See
Okay,
if it's something we can help with.
all right, I sure will. I usually, if we need anything, I'll usually call Renee right off the bat and say, hey, do we have any money for this? But, we sure will. Thank you.
How does your caseload this year compare to what the caseload you had last year?
It's a little different because this year, my entire caseload is built on attendance. Because that is our number one goal. So I'm going after kids that are chronically absent, not going after them, but, getting them onto my caseload. That's probably a bad way of saying it. But, and that way, I can work with our attendants more. Now, the counseling and stuff like that and kids with different emotional issues and things like that, they can still come see me. They don't have to be on my caseload. In fact, my door is always open. I'm rarely in there, but the door is always open. But absolutely, that's the biggest difference in my caseload is I don't have kids that have the anxiety issues and things like that. I'm strictly, right now, all attendance.
And so last year you had a different goal, so you were targeting a different group.
Yeah, well, and our goal was attendance last year too, but it wasn't like our complete focus. Like this year, it is our main focus is trying to get our attendance up.
Okay.
I don't think you can get your test scores up till you get the kids in school. And at the end of the day, I think that's our goal is to get them in school, get the test scores up, and then everybody's happy.
This may not be a question for you, but do we see a correlation there for sure? That the ones that are absent more are for sure the ones that are lacking?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a direct correlation is absenteeism to lower grades and being retained.
So what did we finish at last year on?
Well, they got rid of our statistics because we were separate schools and now that we're one, we don't have them. But I believe we were about 86% last year attendance.
Our chronic attendance rate for the year was 34.4.
Yeah. And that's chronic. That's more than 18 absences. So 34% of the student population missed more than 18 days. And of course, with your attendance average, it can still look good, but you got a bunch of kids that just don't come to school. 15 or 20 kids that are just never here. It kills your attendance rate.
What's the biggest reason that you get from students why they haven't been here?
Well,
Is there anything we can work on?
that when you talk to the parents, and this is just me, and I talked to a parent a couple of weeks ago, and I had to explain to him that you're the parent. The kid is the kid. You tell him to get up and go to school. Because he was saying, well, I go in and wake him up. He just don't feel like going. He's tired or he's this or he's, and I said, well, if he's tired, he needs to go to bed earlier. I said, but you got to get him up. You're the parent. You got to make him come to school. And I think that's a big issue around here is the kids kind of do what they want. And, the parents just kind of let it. And we got so many kids that aren't with their actual parents, which also makes a difference. Grandma and grandpa don't make you get up and go to school. They really don't, on average. And aunts and uncles and all these different people that raise some of these kids, that makes it difficult. And that's not a Hinton problem, a Summers County problem. That's a Southern West Virginia problem.
Thank you, sir. All right. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
All right.
All right, item 8, we have before us superintendent's recommendation for approval of the August 26th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. No public comment. Oh, I'm sorry. I wrote notes down in that. Item 7, do we have any public comment? Okay, thank you. My notes carried on down past what I needed them to. All right, item 8, approval of minutes. We have before us the superintendent's recommendation for the minutes of the August 26th, 2025 regular meeting.
Should we approve the minutes from the August 26th, 2025 meeting?
Second.
Motion from Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan to approve the August 26th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? The minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the August 26th, 2025 regular meeting minutes have been approved. Item 9, approval of bills. We have before us first the bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound.
Conflict of interest.
Mr. Brogan indicated for those on the, who may be watching online, that he is stepping out for this vote due to a conflict of interest.
I'll make a motion, we approve the bill for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound.
Yeah.
Motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Harvey to approve the bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote with Mr. Brogan recusing himself due to a conflict of interest that the bills for RT Rogers and Safe and Sound have been approved for payment. Okay, we now have before us the remainder of the bills.
Make a motion to pay the remainder of the bill.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. McBride, that we pay the remainder of the bills. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Mr. McBride, was that an aye for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the remainder of the bills have been approved for payment. Reading out here, Renee, crowding you a little bit.
That's okay. I've got plenty of direction.
Item 10, old business, discussion or possible action to approve the new school ESMH grant MOU. Dr. Knott, do you want to talk about this a little bit, or do you have one of your directors that wants to say anything about it?
They can add to it, but it's basically what it was last year. This is a flow-through grant. We took the MOU to Dr. Green and to Renee Jones, and they looked it over. That's why it was on the agenda and then wasn't ready yet, because we didn't have it back. So they've just made some changes, which are probably more clarifications than they are changes. If you two want to say anything about that.
It's very tailored to each school needs and programs that they'll be helping with at their school.
And did the schools choose the programs they were interested in using the grant?
As far as we know, the two school people met with the principals, and then we also met with the principals, had them send us their feedback and input for the grant.
Okay,
For the MOU.
all right.
Make a motion that we approve the new school ESMH grant memory and understanding in the school mental health.
Motion on the floor by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan to approve the new school ESMH grant. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Mr. McRoberts, did you have an aye?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear it. I might have been speaking when you said it.
Well,
All right,
that's fine.
that's okay. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the new school ESMH grant has been approved. Please. All right, item 11, new business, approved purchases over 25,000. We have one, that's a 65 passenger school bus, Matheny Motor Truck Company, for the price of $153,998.
Brian is here. If you don't-
According to what Brian was talking to me about earlier, funding source is incorrect. Is that,
Yes.
what is the funding
That comes
source?
from state funds for bus reimbursement and not county.
That's one that is unrestricted, so. technically,
It's never been considered county since I've been here. Here.
So do we pay it with county funds and then we're reimbursed by the state, or?
No, we get that money, comes from the state based on the fleet value. And then each year you get, there's a formula and about 20 different parts to it. How they figure out what you get, based on your value of your fleet, your mileage, how many students you have, whether you're rural, sparse, it just depends, the different rates, and all that goes together to formulate what you get from the state each year to replace the buses that are, out of the 10-year, 180,000.
You're saying whatever the state gives you,
Right, and
that has to be spent on buses?
Yes, it's supposed to be spent on buses, it is, this year was $239,608.
Say that number again, please.
$239,608.
Thank you.
The electric bus that we're getting, our cost on that is $47,223. And if you took away the $153,998, that would still leave us with $38,387.
And can that be used on the charging station?
No. It has to be spent on bus. The charging station is under a different part of transportation, and you get reimbursed it at a 95% rate over 2 years.
So they're used for fuel or parts or?
It has to be used, that's all under a different formula. The bus money has to be spent on this bus.
So if we have
So would it carry?
$40,000 left over,
Sorry.
does that carry over to next
Right.
year?
Normally, that's what we do. Like say this year, I didn't have enough to buy a bus. I was close, but I didn't have enough, and the county didn't have the money to put in to make up the difference. It carries over to the next year till you get the money to be able to purchase.
And this,
They already did either.
yeah, pardon?
They already did either.
Mhm.
Currency from the state. It says bus replacement funds are no longer restricted. Restrictions were lifted in FY20. Because there are no restrictions, you can use funds for any purpose, but you can certainly use the bus replacement funds for purchasing a charging station. The charging stations and infrastructure therefore are reimbursed under other portions of the transportation funding, which is currently operating expenditure of that kind of fund. So because it's unrestricted, the county can decide how they want to afford it.
And
That being said, in our training, which I did not know, they said you could use it for that. I know the board had to vote on to use it for like a roof or something like that. If you spend your bus money somewhere else, it drops your fleet value, which in turn drops the money you get from the state for your, and they do advise against that. Or as the charging station, that's the first I've heard about being able to use bus money to pay for a charging station. It's, you use transportation money, but I didn't think that's
Lord knows nothing stays the same very long.
All right, so we have before us, purchase of a 65 passenger bus, 153,998.
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the 65 passenger bus.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor by Mrs. Farley, seconded by Mr. McBride to purchase the 65 passenger bus. Any discussion? This is the only bus, this and the electric bus are the only ones we're getting this year. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the 65 passenger bus has been approved for purchase. Item B, under new business, discussion or possible action to approve policies. We have Roman numeral 5-E-4, billing and collections policy, and Roman numeral 6-H-2, grading uniformity and promotion within the schools. No comments on any of those. Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the, policies 5-E-4 billing and collection policy and 6-H-2 grading uniformity and promotion within schools.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan to approve policies 5-E-4 billing and collection policy and 6-H-2 grading uniformity and promotion within the schools. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the two policies out for approval have been approved. I'm not going to read all that again. Sorry. Item C, discussion or possible action to place policies out for public comment. We have Roman numeral 6-H-4, criteria for the successful completion of graduation requirements.
I'll make a motion, we put it out for public comment.
We have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mrs. Harvey to put policy 6-H-4, criteria for the successful completion of graduation requirements out for public comment. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that policy 6-H-4 will be put out for public comment. Item D, out-of-state overnight trips. We have Nathan and Amy Smith to the Summers County Ed Tech Conference in South Carolina, October 28th through 31. Funding source is Teacher Leadership, Step 7D. And then we have Daniel Yost, K-12 Technology Conference, Pocono Manor, Pennsylvania, November 15th through the 18th, 2025. Title IX, Professional Development Funding Source.
Title
Title
4.
4, thank you. I saw that as an X instead of a V.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Title IX would not be a funding source for that.
I'll
Okay.
second Nate's motion.
We have a motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Harvey to approve the out-of-state overnight trips. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Opposed, abstaining, let the minutes reflect by 5-0 vote that the out-of-state overnight trips have been approved. Discussion regarding financial statements in the budget. So I looked over the budget again. I guess really what I would kind of like to know, if you can tell me, is based on where we are right now financially, are we on track with what the budget we proposed?
We still see.
We're still in the black. We're on track. It's still really early.
Okay,
There's not a whole lot of detail on your report because it's as of July, it's out the beginning of the year.
mhm,
So on there, you'll see that there are different funds, the general, current, big capital projects, special revenue, and, the federal stimulus will fall off eventually, hopefully. It's not very last year. I didn't know that that was very much information to give you. Because I only had 1 month in there, so I actually made just a few notes of things that I thought you would think was important.
Okay.
So this month we are working, every extra second on the financial statements because they're due the 30th. And, my goal is to have them done next month. We've had almost every number down, so that's a positive. We have our new accounts payable person, well, we have a new professional accountant. The goal that I have and the vision that I have for the business office is to cross-train the payroll person and the AP person. That way we always have a backup. That way, this is a payroll. Natalie came with 20 years of accounting experience, and 9 of those were in the school system in North Carolina. So we thought the quickest way to hit the ground running and train her was to stick her back on AP, which is what she was familiar with. So since then, Amanda's been cross-training her in AP. They've been helping each other, and that's how we're getting things done. So with all that being said, with the 9:30 deadline, that is a deadline for a lot of the special, education and title grants. Those I think look incredible. We're almost there. We have a few more things to move around and draw down. It was the deadline for the new school grants and extra grants that we write. That's already been submitted. On your Zoom report for next month, or maybe even as of 9:30, you're gonna see a giant encumbrance at the bottom of them. The numbers are gonna be really big compared to what they are now. And that's because I encumbered payroll today. It's not required to be encumbered until October, but I thought to better help with drawing down the grants for this deadline, it was better to go ahead and encumber it today. So those numbers are gonna grow a lot on your report.
when you say you encumbered payroll, is that for a time period?
That will be for the whole.
For the whole year, okay.
And I just provided a quick update on SBA, because Dr. Green had asked me about that on the project. So far, we've paid Tri-State Roofing about $275,000. I'm holding a check currently for about $206,000. We processed it in June because the work had been performed up until June 30th, and I didn't want to have a giant receivable on the financial statement. So we processed that check, and I normally hold them until the SBA approves all the payouts and lets me know that they're okay. There was a 40-some cent discrepancy from Tri-State and what they turned in to McKinley.
Mhm.
So he held that one. I talked to Mark about it today, and they're gonna try to go ahead and push that through and make an adjustment for 40-some cents on the next payout, because it was in the previous fiscal year for me, which was cancel payments. So as soon as they approve that one, which I think is all good, since I hear back from Mark, they'll release that check to us. And that will just leave about $137,000 left for us to pay.
I thought you said 40% discrepancy, but you said 40 cents.
With 27 cents, they will not process
Oh,
those
my.
if they are not.
40
perfect.
cents.
And I'm not even sure what happened between McKinley and Tri-State, but 40-some cents happened.
Wow.
I didn't see anything out of the ordinary on your report, that I thought maybe you would have any questions on.
So we have, I know we build into the budget, money for break fix items that may appear throughout the year.
The maintenance budget.
Yeah, so, maybe I should direct this to Dr. Green, but what's the status as far as the gymnasium down here? Have we started working on that? Do we have any estimates? As far as the air conditioning, is that affecting the heating as well, or is it just the AC that's affected with that?
Well, we haven't really turned the heat on the gym yet, so zero.
Okay.
And I haven't had that conversation, right? The last conversation I had with Frank about that is that, I think we were still waiting for a part.
Okay.
When at the beginning of the school year, they tried working with part of the air conditioning, but that didn't work, that wasn't the load. So I will go back, I'll be honest, I haven't got back to Frank on that, but we haven't talked about that particular project yet.
Okay.
We should have it. The last call. I will get with him in the morning about that, and I'll get you another.
Okay, so it's just a part, it's not and we're not gonna have to replace any system or anything that could
I've
be,
not been told. All I've been told was the part that we had to order that was quite expensive that you approved
okay,
back at the end of July.
okay,
The part we had to.
okay. I was just kind of concerned that since it was still not working, that we may be getting ready to have to get into our maintenance budget to fix something, so.
When I built the budget, I took what we had spent last year in programs that we had that I knew were gonna continue and built those into the budget. Accounted for like a 10% inflation, but as far as things that happen like that, I didn't just build random things into the budget. So when those things do happen, I'll just bring them to you as a budget supplement, adjust
Okay.
them for you guys to see.
Okay, yep, that's fine, that's great, thank you. And I guess as we get further along in the school year and these numbers start changing more, we'll probably have a lot more questions as far as, are we staying in the, in the black and where we're at, but, so, thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, thank you. Next item F, discussion or possible action regarding attendance incentives.
That was the policy. I don't know if there was confusion about that I was gonna put that on the agenda for policy IV-J-14. This is the policy that, at the bottom it says it's gonna be reviewed by the county board each year to evaluate the effectiveness and feasibility. That was my intention with that.
Okay.
For the, employees who miss 4 or less days.
And so when we talked about this before, you indicated some numbers, how much we spent on substitutes versus how much we would spend paying if we paid out.
So to put that in perspective, our professional sub costs for FY 25 due to absenteeism, we had to back out anyone who would be in a long-term position. So that was $335,000. And for the service side of that, just for absenteeism, it was $155,000. So to give you like a number for what it would cost us, stuff would be very different. It would be a range from everywhere, but if we had a retired teacher that had a lot of years, it could be up into $400 a day. Or a service personnel person could range, down to $125 a day. But last year, the attendance bonus just for the county portion cost the county $25,500, and that paid out 51 employees, service and professional. But on top of that, if teachers don't miss that many days, we get a grant from the State Department that also pays them $500. I think that was the thought process when we matched that. And we had 14 teachers that got that last year for $7,000. So I think it's cheaper to keep that incentive. I've had a few teachers ask me about it. I do think people make that a goal. It really would 100% depend on the sub and how much we owe them if it's paid out, but I do think it's good.
So right at $500,000 for subs. And that's not including the long-term subs.
And long-term sub, they're paid from a code, like it would be salary code. So it's not included. Kind of built that.
What's that policy again? You said IV, 4-J dash
14.
14. Okay, I wrote that down. So and I do remember seeing that policy somewhere with, I don't remember if it was in here or in my emails. But I do recall that policy, what you were saying, that it indicated we would evaluate that on an annual basis. So this is something we should have looked at in the summer. No fault of anyone. It's just the way it happens. But based on if we were to adopt it now to go ahead and move forward with this incentive, would we start it from the time we adopt it? And if they own the amount of days, I'd have to look at the policy, the amount of days they're allowed to miss and still qualify for the incentive.
I think it's
Count from the beginning.
school year.
I think the
I'm
wording,
pulling it up now.
yes, I was gonna say, I think the wording was for the school year
Okay.
24, 25.
And
And then be
so,
25, 26.
I guess the teacher, the individuals that have reached out to you, they're already anticipating the incentive. So
I told them I'm ready.
they've probably tried to be here for their work days, up until now.
And I will say that I'm allowed, even the
Sure.
ones who don't meet that goal,
Mhm.
they want to meet that goal, but they'll express that, I mean, some of them, they'll express, I was just sick, or I was
Mhm.
just, they really are gonna try for it the next year.
Right,
yeah.
I was so close.
I
I've
had it-
heard that more than
yeah.
once.
Oh, clicked on the wrong one.
You
all
like
have
to
any-
offer excused absences here or there, but if you start that, never end.
What's the total dollar figure for the 51 that we're paying?
Do we have anything built into our budget for this 25,000?
I didn't build it into the budget just because I didn't know if it was approved or not.
Right.
I have to make a budget adjustment.
Okay. And can we use, so if we pay the incentive, would it come from a different fund than the fund we're paying the substitute teachers from? Okay.
How many years have we done this now? I can't remember.
Policy says adopted 2021.
December 9th, 21. Yep.
Have you noticed a trend toward it being, I guess, more successful over the past few years? Or can you really tell?
I didn't have my hand in this one per se, in AP, but I mean, I always thought it was a good goal.
Right.
I think the timing of the payout, because the State Department also pays us like right at June 30, it's right at summer. So
Right.
I think a lot of people use that maybe as vacation fund and be $1,000 getting.
And that's what I was looking for. The policy does say they can use no more than 4 days of personal leave. So they can still use 4 days and be entitled to it. So, I think it's a good thing if we can give them that incentive and that keeps our staff and here present, just like our students, we're trying to get attendance, but I'll make a motion that we approve the attendance incentive for this year.
A second.
Okay, and just, motion by myself, seconded by Mrs. Farley, that we approve the attendance incentive for this current 25-26 school year. Any discussion?
I'll just add that without this policy, if it only cost $25,000 last year, I think it would be really safe to say that instead of $500,000, it would have been 600,000 or 700,000 had you not had this incentive to try to keep the teachers here.
Yeah.
And maybe we just need to spread the word a little bit more, so
Mhm.
even our new people, or remind people.
I can send out an email and say that it was board approved and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Ask maybe the DLT, the district leadership teams to discuss during the next faculty senate meeting. Reminder.
All right, so motion by myself, seconded by Mrs. Farley to approve the attendance incentive. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the attendance incentive has been approved. Discussion or possible action regarding Board of Education and superintendent goals. According to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, personnel, I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride. According to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, personnel, we go into executive session. The time is 7:01 PM. Oh,
And it still says.
so motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride. Any discussion on that going into executive session? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, we will now go into executive session.
The time is That's two. We just woke up.
Can you hear me, Greg? I can hear you, Jay. I'm getting ready to put you back on the speaker here. Give me just a second.
Connected.
Okay, we got you back on speaker now, Jay. All right, so we will call this regular meeting back to order. Executive session ended at 7:54 PM. We have met with our interim superintendent, Dr. Knott, and set goals for her for the 25-26 school year. And as such, we also have board goals. I will read the board goals out loud, and these will be later placed on our website. Our first goal for this board is to continue the proficiency growth in math and reading that have been demonstrated from last year by the general summative assessment, the PSA and SAT results. Our second goal for this board is enhance the Summers County Schools standing within the community and with our personnel. And our third goal is to foster a safe and positive school culture for our students and our staff. So those are the areas that we as a board feel are important and we want to focus on. And we'll be happy for any suggestions or any feedback on how we can achieve those goals. But I know that we have Dr. Knott and the directors that will be helping us do our best to make sure we are able to achieve those. All right, item H, discussion or possible action to approve the Best Life Therapy MOU.
That was sign language services. It's the same as it was last year. The cost is slightly more, but we're actually going to be using it less. It's for one student, and that student's a senior, so there's less need.
Motion that we approve the MOU for Best Life Therapy.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mrs. Farley to approve the Best Life Therapy MOU. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by 5-0 vote that the Best Life Therapy MOU has been approved. Item 12, personnel. Mrs. Farley, if you'd like to step out, we will handle these three.
I'm just gonna step right back here. Okay.
All right, the first one we have before us will be for, find them here. Under employment, extra duty, extracurricular volunteer / personnel, we have James Farley, Joe Farley, and then under,
Same category.
same there.
Twice, one for each for Bridget.
Yeah.
Bus operator. And school bus operator.
Right, and then under student employment, we have Sam Farley. So Joey and James are
Motion
both.
that we approve superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, that we approve the superintendent's recommendation for James and Joe Farley under employment, extra duty, extracurricular volunteer personnel, both listed twice, and under student employment, Sam Farley. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the record reflect by a 4-0 vote, the superintendent's recommendation for the three Farleys have been approved, with Mrs. Farley recusing herself due to a conflict of interest. Yeah, just knock on the door.
For the record, I had to recuse myself because I'm related to James Farley, Joe Farley, and Sam Farley.
All right, so we have before us the remainder of the superintendent's recommendations for personnel. I'd like to make a motion according to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4 personnel that we go into executive session.
Second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride, according to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4 personnel that we go into executive session. All in favor, is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote where we will go into executive session. The time is 8:01 PM. You go into it with an open mind, yeah, you'll have fun. If you go
I need to drink my coffee.
that's all you need. And I use they've got a place where you get specialty coffee. I just get my coffee right there from the thing here. And it's a good-
Smartphone connected.
Okay, Jay, you with us?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm with you.
so we will call this regular meeting back to session. Executive session ended at 8:19 PM. So we have before us the superintendent's recommendation for personnel.
Motion that we accept the superintendent's recommendation for remaining personnel.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan, to accept the superintendent's recommendation for the remaining personnel. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the superintendent's recommendation for the remaining personnel has been approved. All right, now we have item 13, superintendent's report.
Well, the first thing I would like to tell you is the balanced scorecard results were released today, and we'll report on those at the next meeting. Student achievement.
Great.
Next week is Celebrate Freedom Week. It's been pushed out to the principals twice now. There is a resource document that they all got, so hopefully they share it with their teachers. And then maybe the schools can report perhaps at a future meeting on maybe if they did something, unique and different for Celebrate Freedom Week. Bowles Rice policies update, I told you I would get for you. Trey Marone said that it appears there are about 58 policies still to be put through the county board for either amendment or repeal. And half of the remaining policies are discretionary and may very well be recommended for repeal. And he wanted to set a goal of trying to get the rest of those policies to the central office staff in the next few months and try to get the project complete by the end of 2025. Is his goal. He said
This is the-
25, right?
And this is the project that began probably 5 years ago.
He did say,
My question is, we're still not having to pay for that.
no. He did tell me that the policy review project was requested, of course, ongoing project, needs to be completed soon. He said they set a cap on the legal fees to be billed on the matter at the outset, and the cap was met sometime back, quite early in the project.
Years ago.
They've reviewed it, they've continued to do that at no extra charge, no additional charge. So once I got this, I did look at the bills and there is no additional charge. He does list the things that he's working on, but it's zero charge, so. So he's continuing to work under the existing billing matter until the initial review is complete. So he's setting the goal, of course, at the end of 2025. And then also under superintendent's report, I said we would update you on some facilities. I wanted to update you on the facilities, and then Dr. Green's just going to follow up with his attendance report number 14 there. So I'll let Dr. Green go now to update you on some major facilities projects.
All right, I tried to break these down by the school project. I will have an update for the HVAC or the AC and the hospital gym before the end of the day tomorrow. So in the area, the fan motor went out in their HVAC. A replacement has been ordered. Train gave us a quote for $4,578. Just to note, that is that's a contract that's already bid out. So we're pretty much at the lowest cost when we get it from Train. That project is being completed this week. The lighting project at HAE, That was grant funded through the Hinton Area Foundation. That has been completed. Ms. Gum is just waiting to do a final walkthrough with the subcontractor. Jumping branch. The roof on the pre-K kindergarten wing, the paint that protects the foam roof is starting to chip. Frank brought that to me. I went back and researched through the contract, and there was no warranty on that. So before I approved the paint and all that, I wanted to make sure that that wasn't something we could have covered by the contractor. It wasn't.
When,
and
when was
I-
that done?
Huh?
When was that project done
That
initially?
was done in the fall of 2022.
Okay, I didn't think it'd been that long.
Not at all.
3 years chipping.
Yes. And there's large chunks according
Is
to.
there an option of what to use? Since that's not lasting very long.
So what we're doing right now is Frank has ordered the paint to repair the major areas of that we really need to get it done and we can't try something else. So he has ordered about $1,300 worth of materials to fix those particular sections. And then he's going to see if there's another less expensive paint that we can use to protect the foam. But what we spent right now is something we just have to do to keep the integrity of that roof at this point.
Or have we had any leaks due to that? Yeah,
Not yet,
Okay.
but the longer it's exposed, the more it's going to eat away.
Yep.
So, like I said, that's been requisitioned. That should come in within the next week or so, and then they'll get started on that project. Fix that. The culvert replacement, that I know we've kind of been waiting a while on that one. The biggest hiccup has been the drop inlet. The quotes that Mr. Metter got before he left were for plastic drop inlet basins and not concrete. And I think time just kind of ran out on him to kind of continue on with that. So as you can see, I've listed several individual groups that I've tried to reach out to. So far, I've had 2 groups that have been somewhat fruitful as expressing that they could possibly do this work or they could do it. And I've got the one quote so far for about $3,900, which really was in keeping with the quotes that Mr. Metter had gotten for the plastic. So I think it's really not going to cost a whole lot more than we would have spent otherwise.
so that's gonna be still plastic culvert, just
No.
the concrete drop-ins?
No, I think the price I got for the 3,900, I think was metal.
Okay,
Because he talked about that, we talked about that as well.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure when our conversation was with making this concrete basin, that metal would be the better option.
Okay.
I'll go back and look at that just to make sure, and I'll just add that to my agenda tomorrow.
thank you.
So as soon as we select a vendor, which within the next week or so, assuming Dr. Nod is okay with it, we'll have a vendor by the end of the week. Because the quote we have is not one that we have to bid out or whatever, and I don't want to delay this any more than we have to. So anyways, Toffett Elementary, the fan drive went out on the right wing of the school, so they're currently going with our air conditioning in that section of the building right now. It is unavoidable, it is what it is. However, the part has been ordered, and you see the cost is about $6,800, well, $6,900. So that one, we were told that would be a couple weeks before that part comes in. But as soon as it does come in, Train will go into fixing it. With the high school, the roofing project is about complete. They state that September 24th should be the completion date for that. They're currently working in their last shop, which is the building maintenance shop, or working inside, but the exterior roof is completed. So within the next couple of weeks, that will also be finished. One other thing, this has been an ongoing problem for years, as you'll see in my notes. The old main entrance to the building out here outside of the front office, that far door near the call box, it doesn't, if you push the door open, the lock will not latch back unless you just sit there and continue to push it and just hope and pray it will latch. So we tried to use an existing door that we had here to replace it because it was similar. That did not work. So Frank had West Virginia Glass come down and look at that. They looked at it, and basically it's worn out. So I asked Frank to find out if we can simply replace that one door or if we're going to have to replace the whole thing. Either way, it's going to have to be replaced. It is quite a safety issue. The administration is aware of it. Of course, the last three principals out, for Ms. Hawkins have all reported this to be taken care of. But we're going to fix this. This is going one way or another. We will try to do it in the most cost-effective way as possible, but this is a student safety issue. So, those are the big projects, outside of the HVAC or the air conditioning in the high school gym. And I'll get that to you tomorrow. The next thing I have, if Dr. Knott is okay with me just going to it. You asked at the last meeting for attendance, an attendance report for each month. If you'll just give the extras to Dr. Knott. So I went through and I gave you a breakdown based elementary, secondary. I guess that's the next, well, I might be doing the next one, but then starting November, the next attendance director will take care of that. But I started with the end of the year numbers as kind of a baseline, and then the current month will be September. As we keep going through, that next will be the previous one. But anyways, our current enrollment is 1,057 students. We have 496 students in the elementary, 561 in the secondary building. Should note that there are 11 elementary students, 11 sixth grade students in the elementaries. 10 of those students are located at Jumping Branch, and one of them is located in the Tier 4 program in Hinton area. So whenever you get this and you see the Hinton area has a sixth grader, it's because that program is assigned to Hinton area. That's where that kid is. And then I try to give you the change. So between the last year, elementary saw a decrease of about 10. The high school so far has saw a decrease of 66. The only school to have an increase this year was Jumping Branch Elementary, and they increased about 23. So you take the sixth grade out of it for a pilot project, they increased about 13 students between May and now. Homeschool, that I just glossed over that. Currently, we have 91 students in the Hope Scholarship. In the actual homeschool, we have 178 students. We have no students currently enrolled to our county's knowledge in a micro school. The transfer out of county, I will tell you that I combine charter school and just transferring to another county in that category, because technically a charter school is a West Virginia public school. We have 26 students that have unenrolled due to those two categories. Some of the transfer out of county is due to move, some is, for other reasons, but where we are.
The four that went to change from homeschool this month to end of last year.
They've, it's gonna either be they have left it, they've moved the county, but I'm pretty sure that number, I didn't get into the weeds on that one in particular, but I'm pretty sure that is they've come back to public school from homeschool, because we have, when I would go through periodically, I would see a few that have come from. And when I was cleaning up some numbers weeks ago, there are several that have come back to public school. Question? Anything else that you would like to see that's not in this report?
Good.
Thank you. Would you like to, about West Virginia School Service Personnel, September 18th? Or you want me to read
I
the?
would like you to read it.
Okay. So as part of the superintendent report, Dr. Knott and myself have shared an email, and this came from Jamie Mallory, WVSSPA. Not sure what that.
Service person.
Service personnel, okay. So the right there it is, West Virginia School Service Personnel Association. So the West Virginia School Service Personnel Association has petitioned the governor to request a proclamation to honor West Virginia school service personnel. They've requested this proclamation for the past 10 years, and they request that the third Thursday of September be designated as West Virginia School Service Personnel Day. Unfortunately, over the past 10 years that they've made that request, that has not been proclaimed yet. But they wanted to continue to honor the hard work of the service personnel and remember the service personnel on September 18th. And while we are still 7 days away from the 18th, this is the last meeting we will have before the 18th. So we would just like to read the language of the proclamation that has been requested of the governor. It says, whereas school service personnel are involved in nearly every aspect of education by maintaining buildings and grounds, preparing and serving meals, keeping school facilities clean and orderly, and assisting in the classroom, as well as providing administrative support functions, safe transportation, and many other specialized services. And whereas school service personnel are instrumental in West Virginia's responsibility to educate all students, and whereas these dedicated individuals serve the children of West Virginia in our public education system and have an important role of non-instructional service to the educational system, and whereas it is fitting we recognize the outstanding work these individuals do for this state, their communities, and the students enrolled in West Virginia schools, now therefore be it resolved that we proclaim September 18th, 2025 as West Virginia School Service Personnel Day. And I think our school service personnel do a great job. As mentioned in the proclamation, from our transportation to our food service workers to our janitorial services and all the service personnel in between, they do a great job here, and we're very appreciative of the work they do. And the only thing I will say about the proclamation, it says, whereas school service personnel are it talks about a non-educational work that they do. I would like to say that many of the service personnel are educational, whether they know it or not. I will remember as a student many times going down into the furnace room where the coal-fired furnace was with our janitor, and he taught me all about coal-fired furnaces. I remember my bus driver teaching me how to put chains on a bus. And so a lot of good lessons are learned from our students by our service personnel. So thank you to all our service personnel. Dr. Knott, do you have anything else for your superintendent report?
No.
Okay, and we've already had the attendance report as part of ongoing superintendent report. So we are now at item,
Oh, gosh.
yeah,
13A.
13, might be 13B. Discussion of next agenda. The next regular board meeting will be September 23rd at Talcott Elementary. Two items I have here that I would like to talk about possibly at our next board meeting. One was brought to my attention by another board member, and I think it is time we might start having a conversation about a levy for the upcoming election in May of 26. So I think we should put that on our agenda for the next board meeting and start that process, determine if we as a board want to, try to do another levy. And then one of the things I would like, and it doesn't have to be the next meeting, but I would like to get some quarterly disciplinary reports. Just an overview of what we're seeing as a problem. Specifically, what made me think of this is I'm curious to see how our cell phone policy is going, especially with the state ban on cell phone usage during the school, but during the school day. So at some point, I would like to get quarterly disciplinary reports. Any other items for the next agenda? Yeah. We could do that during LSIC.
Balance scorecard that they mentioned.
Oh, yeah. So the balance scorecard, the next agenda. Anything else think of, Renee? Jay, anything you can think of for the next meeting? I think I've still got him. He must be on mute. All right, as always, if you have any items for the next meeting that you would like to be added to the agenda, reach out to myself or Dr. Knott, and we will get those added for you. Mr. McBride, are you still on with us? Oh, still on. He might be muted. Mr. Brogan, I'm going to let you take over item 15.
Make a motion, we adjourn. The time is 8:43.
We have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, that we adjourn this meeting. The time is 8:43 PM. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that this meeting is now adjourned. All right, Jay, I guess I don't know if you're muted still, but we're gonna